Guys, welcome to my channel, Medical Assistant with Miss K. If this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome. My name is Kendra, aka Miss K. I'm a medical assistant instructor and I've been in this field for 19 years. And if you are a returning viewer or returning subscriber, welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about something that I don't normally talk about on this channel, and that's going to be what to do with your tax refund check, or really even any lump sum of money, whether it's a tax refund check, maybe it's some type of settlement check, whether it's just an unexpected financial blessing, whatever it is. I want to try to help you guys spend it the right way, because for many of us, for many people, this is probably the only time of year that some of you may get a significant amount of money. And so I know how easy it is to just run through that money and then you have nothing to show for it. The reason why I wanted to talk about this on my channel is because outside of teaching medical assistant, I have multiple streams of income. I'm an author, a publisher, I'm a coach. When I started sharing some of these things on a previous video, some of you guys started asking, how can I, gain multiple streams of income? What are some things I can do and things like that? And so I realized that there is a need. Even though this channel is about medical assistant, you still are a person, you still have a life outside of medical assistant, and some of you need help with managing your money. So I mentioned that I'm also a coach. I think I mentioned that I help people to fix their credit. I help people to fix their credit and also maintain good credit and teach people the correct way to use their credit cards and things like that. I also help people create budgets. Now, I'm not a financial expert. I just made a lot of financial mistakes in my past. And once I learned how to fix them and I started doing better with my money, I started teaching other people to do the same thing. And so I accidentally became a coach. So one of the things that I incorporate into my classroom with my medical assistant students is teaching them how to budget, right? How to save money and pay off debts and things like that. So I definitely want to incorporate this into this channel, and it's going to be a series. So today is the first video. This video is the first video of the series, but it's going to be a financial series specifically for medical assistants. Now it's going to apply to anybody, but in this series, I'm going to be specifically talking to you all as medical assistants. So at the time of this video, it is March, and I'm hoping that I'm not too late, because sometimes by now, some people have gotten their tax refund and spent it. So I wanted to do this video actually at the top of the year, but I've been swamped. I've had so many things going on. I haven't been able to do so. So I'm hoping that either you are watching this video and maybe you haven't got your tax money yet, or maybe you did get it, but you're still holding on to it. And again, this also goes for any lump sum of money that you may get your hands on. And I do just want to let you know that I am not doing this video as a way to say you need to do all of these things I'm going to name in the video. Just trying to give you some ideas. Some of these things will apply to you, some won't. Some of these things you'll be able to do. Some people may be watching this and maybe didn't get a tax refund at all. So that's why I wanted to point out, any lump sum of money. Some people may be watching this and didn't get a lot at all, and you may be thinking, I can't do all of those things. No worries. Do what you can, okay? The very first idea that I want to give you guys today is to start an emergency fund. Now, what is an emergency fund? An emergency fund is money that you set aside strictly for emergencies, okay? If you have a car, cars break down eventually, right? So you might want to have an emergency fund just in case your car breaks down. You may want to have an emergency fund in case, you may get behind on bills and you need to, have some money set aside for that. You may need an emergency fund for medical bills, medical expenses, or whatever. Whatever you need an emergency fund for is your reason. Maybe you have a mortgage, you own your home and you need some money to the side in case something, breaks down in the house, or in case you fall behind on your mortgage payment. Whatever your reason is, that's your reason. But it is imperative to have an emergency fund, because emergencies will happen. It's not about if, it's about when the emergency happens. So you want to have some type of emergency fund set aside. Now, I did mention in this video that, I'm not going to recommend that you follow all of the tips that I give you here, or, implement all of the ideas that I give you here. But this is something that is really non-negotiable. Like, if you are living, you need an emergency fund, right? Because life happens, you never know. And if you don't have an emergency fund, and you have to dip into your regular everyday money, you can fall behind on bills. You can possibly, lose your car, lose your home, and things like that. So you want to have that money set aside that's strictly for emergency. So that way, when the emergency happens, you don't have to worry about touching your regular money. Now, how much do you need? Most financial experts would tell you to have at least 3 to 6 months saved up, maybe even a year. But start where you can, okay? Start where you can, even if you can only start with $300 or $500. Ideally, you want to try to start with at least $1,000, have at least that much set, to the side. But whatever you can do, if you can only do $300, start there. Whatever you can do. Don't feel bad if you cannot set aside 3 to 6 months. Everybody's situation is different, and I get that. So no pressure, but you do need that emergency fund because, as I mentioned, emergencies will happen. And so if you can do $1,000, perfect. One thing you can do is you can calculate maybe your 3 to 6 months expenses and see how much that is for you, because for you, maybe that is doable. Maybe you are someone who makes pretty good money and you have a nice cushion saved up already, or you are getting enough back to be able to sit 3 to 6 months aside. So that's perfect. So what you can do is you can calculate, how much do you need. You just, add up your rent, your mortgage, and your, utilities, car payment, or whatever, car insurance. Add those things up and see how much you would need for 3 months, how much you would need for 6 months, and then you know how much your emergency fund needs to be. If you're someone, like I said, who may not be able to set that much aside, maybe you'll say, okay, let me just do $300 here. Whatever you do, do not touch that money. It is for emergencies only. It's going to be so tempting. And I'm actually going to do a separate video. As I mentioned, I'm going to do a series. This is a series. So I'm going to do a separate video on giving you guys tips on how to save and budget and things like that. So that's going to be upcoming. But anyway, once you set that emergency fund to the side, it's going to be tempting, but you cannot touch that money. It's strictly for emergencies. You can even put it in an account, a savings only account, where you don't have a debit card or anything attached to it. It's a strictly savings account only. Maybe it's only online and you can't easily transfer from it. So I definitely recommend that. The next idea you might want to consider is paying off some of your debt, right? So again, some of you guys are getting a lump sum of money that you don't ever get any other time of year. So this is a time where you want to get rid of some of that debt that's been hanging over your head, especially if it's debt that affects your everyday life, right? Maybe you have a credit card you need to pay off, or a personal loan. And these are payments that you're making every month, and it's affecting your day-to-day because, I got to make this payment. And so if you have enough, I do suggest trying to pay off some of your debts. Now, I'm going to do a video on that as well, but I'll just say this. One of the best ways to start paying off debts, usually for a lot of people, is to pay off the smallest debts first. Now, there are different methods of paying off debt, but when you can pay off your small debts first, it kind of gives you, a sense of accomplishment. So if you can do that, that would be perfect, because let's just say you have a debt that's maybe like $100, right? You pay that off, you feel so accomplished because that's one less thing, that you have to worry about, one less weight off your shoulder. So I definitely want you to consider that. In addition to paying off debt, paying off a debt, not necessarily all of your debt. Maybe you may not get enough back to pay off everything you owe, but you may be able to at least, put a dent in some of the debt you owe. Another thing I was going to say is, consider paying up a bill or two, pay it up. Like, for an example, let's say your car insurance. And this is what I do. My car insurance, I can pay that for a year, or I can pay it at 6 months increments. Now, in the past few years, I paid my car insurance for a full year. And so if you are able to do that, then I recommend doing that, or maybe at least 6 months. So that way, that's payments every month that you don't have to worry about, right? And again, you may never see this money again in a year. And in the video I do later in the series, I'm going to teach you how to be able to see lump sums of money during a year, but that's for another video. But anyway, you want to definitely take advantage of this money that you have, if it's enough to pay like your car insurance for like 6 months, if you can, or maybe even 3 months, or maybe your cell phone bill, any type of bill that you have monthly that you would love to have a break from, consider paying that up if you can. Now, another thing I would say that kind of goes along the lines of paying up a bill is maybe, and this is something that my father did that I loved, and it inspired me to do the same thing. Now, my father was not great with money. He was not good with money at all. And I say was because my father, he did pass away back in August 2021. But my father, he was not good with money at all. So I'll just tell you guys this. My mom died when I was 10. So I was raised by my aunts primarily. And then I lived with my father for a while. So I always say I have a little bit of both of their financial habits. My aunt was a saver. She was really good with money. She didn't make a lot of money, but you would think she did because she had thousands of dollars saved in the bank. And then my father, money literally burned a hole in his pocket. So I had some of both. I always joke about that. So my father, he was not good with money at all, but I love the fact that, he had his rent paid up a month in advance. And so if that's something you could do, that will help you, because you could do this one or two ways. It could either, help you in the sense that, if something ever happened, you don't have to worry because your rent is paid up. Like if something happened and you couldn't pay your rent, at least it's paid up for that month, and then you can take care of whatever you need to take care of, and then you're still on track. Or you can pay up your rent, in advance, or your mortgage in advance, and then maybe you might have a free month where you don't have to pay it, right? And so you can do that. But I definitely recommend doing that because it's you have a peace of mind knowing that, okay, even if something happens this month and I cannot pay my rent, I am okay because I've already prepaid it, right? So definitely consider doing that. The next idea I want to give you guys is maybe considering doing some of your holiday shopping during this time. I know so many people who literally do their holiday shopping right now. And I used to laugh about it because I'm like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think about Christmas or any of that until Christmas. I'm like a last minute shopper, but I learned from one of my friends who has multiple kids. Like literally, when she would get her tax refund, she would literally shop and then just put the stuff up in her closet, or just hide it in the house. So that is definitely a good idea. Don't be like me and be a last minute shopper still to this day, and that is an idea that I have not implemented myself. But it is definitely something to consider if you have, especially if you have kids, if you have multiple kids, maybe, because this is when things are on sale, so you definitely want to consider doing that. So this next thing that I'm going to mention, I feel like people do this anyway. And the unfortunate thing is that a lot of people do this, and they do this instead of, paying off debts, or, starting an emergency fund and doing all of those things. So I'm mentioning this as an idea, but I don't want you guys to take this idea and run with it and ignore everything else that I said. Okay, so one of the things that you may consider doing is possibly, treating yourself to maybe like a trip or something like that you don't normally get to do. And the reason why I almost hesitated sharing this, because I don't want anybody to hear this idea and say, oh yeah, let me go take a trip, because I know so many people that do that. They will literally ignore their bills and just go spend their tax refund or any lump sum of money on a trip. Now, I would suggest only if you know your situation, you know if you have money saved up for an emergency, if you're up to date on your bills, your financial situation. So if your financial situation is good in the sense that you have that emergency fund set aside, you're up to date in your bills, maybe even ahead in your bills, and you maybe have not had a vacation in a long time, then you may consider treating yourself to a reasonable vacation, not spending your whole refund on a vacation, but maybe you haven't got a good hairstyle in a long time. Maybe you haven't been able to get your hair done in a while. Maybe you may treat yourself to that, or a nice outfit or something like that. I don't want to come across like I'm just saying you cannot do anything nice for yourself with your refund. I just want you to be smart about it, and make sure your priorities are straight, okay? Because the last thing I would want you to do is to spend all your money is gone and you have nothing to show for it. At least you can have some debt paid off. At least you could have funded your emergency fund, right? Have something to show for it, okay? Because I used to always say, You know, if I'm broke, at least if my bills are paid, I'm okay, right? So the worst thing you can do is be broke and your bills not paid, but you done took a trip or you done bought a new outfit. We want to have our priorities straight. So this is, again, only if you have taken care of your priorities first. And then another thing, in regards to traveling that you may want to do is start a travel fund. Okay, now I'm going to talk more about this when I talk about automation and saving in another video, but you may consider, maybe taking a little bit of your money and putting it in a separate bank account just for traveling. I do that. I put money to the side just for traveling. So you can have it set up to where you put a little money in that account, and then every time you get paid, you can have a little bit of your paycheck going to that account, even if it's just $20, whatever you can afford. So that way you're saving up money to travel, right? Or it doesn't necessarily have to be a travel fund. It could be your outfit fund or your hair fund, whatever it is. It's important to you. So whatever that thing is, I definitely recommend starting that fund with your refund check. If you can, put a little to the side, even if it's only $100 or $200 to start. And then every time you get paid, you can have some of your paycheck going into that account, and that way you're not touching none of your bill money, you're not touching none of your day-to-day money for your groceries and things like that. Another thing I want you guys to consider is investing in yourself. And when I say investing in yourself, I mentioned the trip and maybe getting your hair done and things like that. That is a form of investing in yourself, because that's investing in your self-care and it's investing in your fun. And and you want to enjoy some of your money. You know what I mean? Because some people I see, they work all the time and never enjoy your money. So you do. So that is a form of investing in yourself. But I mean like investing and bettering yourself. And that can be in the form of investing in an online course to teach you how to do certain things. Maybe investing in something that's going to teach you how to start a business that you want to create, and you need some guidance on that. Or maybe you want to invest in a coach to help you, do something, or a mentor, do something that you've always wanted to do. This is an investment because you're paying this money, but then you're going to get a return on an investment once you complete whatever it is you're paying for. So once you finish that online course, maybe you're going to be certified in something, maybe that coach is going to teach you how to do something to make money, right? So you're going to make money based on what you learn from investing in that coach or that mentor. So I want you to think about that. And that's going to lead me to the last thing that I want to mention here, the last tip or idea that I want to give you for using your tax refund money. And that's going to be starting a business. Now, I did a video recently on some business ideas for medical assistants. And actually, I have a free guide. I have a free paper version of that video, and I'll leave it in the description box. But it's just 10 business ideas to start as a medical assistant, right? These are just things that you can start using your expertise and your skills as a medical assistant. But like any other business, they do take a little bit of money to start up, right? And so it can, starting a business can be as little as maybe a couple $100s to maybe thousands of dollars. So, consider investing in yourself in that way, starting your business, because, I actually, I have several businesses, and the way I was able to start a couple of those businesses was from getting a tax refund. Back when I was getting, I would get, a pretty good amount. I still get a little something here and there, and that's more so because of my businesses. And I'll just tell you guys this. A lot of people don't know that as a business owner, you get so many tax write-offs, tax deductions, you get tax credits just for having a business. And so if you are already operating as a business owner, maybe you sell something, maybe you do hair, whatever you do, and you don't have a properly structured business like an LLC or corporation, you definitely want to consider that, because you're missing out on tax breaks. As a business owner, you get tax breaks that you will not get as a regular employee. Like going to your job every day is beautiful. It's wonderful. It's a blessing to have a job. But you won't get the tax breaks that you will as a business owner, specifically a small business owner. So you definitely want to consider that. So again, I will leave that free guide down below. It just gives you some business ideas and how to get started with those business ideas. And downloading that free guide, it does add you to my email list. So that'll be down there below. And also I will link that video. For those of you that didn't see the video, I will link that as well. And again, I'm glad you guys visited my channel today. Look out for the rest of the videos in this series. Now, the series I'm going to have in a specific order, and I do recommend you watch in that order because, you know, I wanted to start off with this video because, again, it's March. I wanted to catch you guys while you still have your tax refund or before some of you get it. I know it's due by next month, or some of you probably already got it, but, you know, I wanted to go ahead and do this one first. The next video I'm going to do is budgeting, and then I'm going to talk about saving and paying off debt, and then I'm going to talk about credit, and then I'm going to talk more about the business side of things, okay? So let me know if this video was helpful. Let me know down below what you plan to use your tax refund money for, or any lump sum. Let me know if anything stood out to you today that you hadn't thought about before and you're going to implement. And also let me know if you have any questions, any video suggestions, or even prayer requests. You can let me know that as well down below, or you can email me. Thank you again for visiting my channel. Be blessed.